Welcome back to day 2 of the 3-day Copy to Cash Challenge. I'm John Benson, creator and CEO of Benson AI. And today, this video, this is the biggie, a whole video sales letter, or VSL. Now, I know a little bit about VSLs, considering I created the very first one and then created one of the very first trainings for VSLs. And I've written probably 30 or 40 of them that have been in the top level performer VSLs. So lots of experience with VSLs. In fact, a little trivia, Benson was originally called VSL Pro, and it was going to be just VSLs. We actually created the very first long-form VSL that AI was capable of generating inside what became Benson. Now Benson does everything, but it started off like this. So why do you need a VSL? First of all, let me just dissuade a couple of things right off the bat. Number one, VSLs still work. All the top marketers I know with the top offers have VSLs of some kind, either as a primary selling vehicle or as an upsell. You absolutely need to understand and use VSLs. Benson does both upsell VSLs and long form or short form VSLs for your initial offer. Second of all, VSLs are complicated. They're very complicated to write. So if you just create a VSL using Benson, and you'll see how fast I'm going to do it, using a blueprint that I created in front of you in day 1, without any modifications off camera, you're going to see exactly how easy it is to create an entire VSL in very limited time. So we're going to say about 20 minutes or so. Now you might do a little bit more editing than I would do on a training video like this, but generally speaking, you can do one easily in an hour or two where it used to take you a week or two. So hey, this is a massive step up. So first thing we're going to do is select our blueprint like we always do. I'm going to go ahead and stick with the memory offer for college students. I'm going to come down here and select VSLs. And as you can see, there's a lot of them. Now I'm going to see some stuff that you're not going to see because I'm an admin, so you won't see these kind of do not use, etc. You won't see a lot of that stuff because we've got a lot of stuff in our admin that obviously people don't see. But I'm going to choose something that I like a lot. It's called the What If VSL. And I'm going to come over here and choose this. So you've got a lot of VSLs being tested right now. So more frameworks coming your way. So I'm going to say memory VSL. And I could choose any of the frameworks, don't get me wrong, but I particularly like this one because it doesn't require a lot of input. So we're going to do this right from the start. Some of them require things like case studies and things of that nature. And since I don't have a case study, this isn't my product, it's going to be easier to write like this. So click the magic button. I don't have to fill in anything. What if remembering important information could be as easy as playing a game? What if it could do something unbelievably good for you, like instantly boost your memory more than hours of traditional studying ever could, putting your brain into full learning mode for the rest of the day? This right here is the sentence. I'm not even going to hit regenerate because I love this right here. Full learning mode for the rest of the day. Do you notice the hook in this that Benson created that we did not create in our blueprint, that we never said? Learning mode for the rest of the day. If you're a college student and you're wanting to improve your memory, don't you want to be in learning mode for the rest of the day? Like automatically, like effortlessly? Of course, allowing you to enjoy all your free time without feeling guilty. So as you can see, this is already starting off in a very strong way, right out of the gate. This lead is good right out of the gate. What if it could deliver it all to you, calm, steady focus all day long without anxiety, without dramatically enhancing your memory and cognitive, while dramatically enhancing your memory and cognitive function, mood and feeling of well-being? Wouldn't that be incredible? Now, I'm just gonna come in here and just edit a little bit. Come in here and say, I want this right here. I want this to kill the poet. I can run kill the poet on the entire thing. In fact, I'll show you what that would look like. All that's gonna do is take out any of the poetic words, see, while greatly improving your memory and thinking skills, boom. Make it simple, But it was already simple in most places. That's why I didn't run the whole thing, okay? Now I remember all the girls I meet in my spare time. It actually remembered that from the last assignment that we did. Now I remember all the concepts I need for my exam. Now I remember all the details for all my assignments. Hello and welcome, I'm John Benson. So onward and so forth. Okay, so here is the entire lead, ready for me to go. Benson wrote it in seconds. There's really not much to do here. I'm reading through this, I'm going, is there anything I would change in this? I mean, getting copy that's, if I have a professional copywriter write for me, I'm going to edit the hell out of what he gives me or she gives me. There's not a lot to edit here. So much more advanced, so much healthier, simpler, easier. so much more powerful and effective than anything you've heard or tried. This is just great copy. It may utterly change the way we as a society approach fast, effective, sustainable learning forever. Now, I'm going to take out sustainable. I'll say fast and effective learning. I might even say just learning, approach learning forever. Okay, there's my human edit. There you go. Breakthroughs backed by leading cutting-edge science, peer-reviewed studies. Now, if that's not true, I would take it out. First-hand experience. It's 100% the real deal. I'll prove it to you in a few moments. That's my lead. There's really nothing for me to do in here. If I wanted to, I could come in here and say, okay, come all the way down here, give me a completely different version of this. I could say, let's just do a rewrite or rephrase. So just slightly reworded. If I wanted something a little bit different, same concepts, just worded differently, boom, that's what I would do. But I actually love this. This is one of the best leads I've seen. This is awesome. So love that it's happening on camera. So I'm already ready to go to the next part. I mean, I'd love to tell you there's more for me to do, but there really isn't. If I wanted to focus something different, if I said, look, I want you to focus more on, let's say, more on my backstory and more on, let's say, works even if. Okay, so focus just more on that. I could just select those two blueprint fields and run Focuser, and it's going to rewrite it with all of that already in there using the same exact persuasion matrix over here. So it's just going to change it in just a few little places to make this work. And there we go. I'm just going to replace that. So now I just tweaked it a little bit. I'm ready to go. Let's save it. Let's go on to the next step. So that's the lead. Now, by the way, what do you do in Vincent? In a few weeks, we're coming out with a copy all that will be right down here. So you'll be able to copy everything that you're creating and pop it into like a Google Doc or WordPress or whatever you're using for your sales page or VSL editor. For now, it's section by section. So I'm just going to copy all of this, select all, and I'm going to paste it over into a Google Doc. That's all I'm going to do. So now to go to my next section, credibility. First name of one of the people involved in your case study. So it's asking for a case study. Now, if I don't have a case study, I would edit the case study part out of this. But you can take a testimonial and turn that into a case study. In fact, it sounds so much better when you say a case study involving Karen, okay, than a testimonial involving Karen. So I'm going to say Karen, because I'm already talking about Karen. Let's just see what it writes. Okay. There's a ton of advice out there from improving memory from sources who really aren't experts. I used to be a struggling entrepreneur in the field of memory improvement. Okay. Again, it's assuming that I am based on what I've told it. Okay. That's not true, but that's okay. Okay. My real joy comes from helping thousands of college students worldwide. What is this right here? I just like to spot copy and point it out. What have I done subtly? Or actually, I didn't do anything. Vincent wrote this right in front of you. What did Vincent do? My real joy comes from helping thousands of college students worldwide. Well, it's a lot better than me saying, hey, I've helped thousands of college students. It's just a neat way of giving me myself built-in credentials, built-in social proof by saying, this is my real passion. Just a better way of saying it. Vincent knows that. Students who come to me because they trust my proven strategy. Notice how it's building a case. It doesn't just say something once, it builds a case. That's what makes Vincent a great copywriter. That's how I met Karen. And she shared a story with me that I hear from nearly every student. So Karen can just be a testimonial. I tried all-nighters. I've rewritten my notes over and over. I used every mnemonic device out there. I've attempted every study trick in the book. I've done everything I can to improve my memory. While these strategies may seem helpful at first, none of them provide a lasting solution. So they're not saying, oh, those things don't work. Vincent's saying, yeah, they work, but they don't provide a lasting solution. So automatically, what are you doing? Vincent is doing. Vincent is separating your product from everything else everyone is trying. Why? How does it know this? Because Vincent knows to look for other solutions. False solutions, expensive alternatives. It's looking for all of those and says, these are what's going on. I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this. It doesn't work, or it doesn't work as well. But what I'm about to share is that missing piece. See? That missing piece. It's one thing that everything else is missing. Vincent's already built this into your copy. Okay, I can assure you this, none of these common methods address the real issue behind poor memory retention. You're about to discover exactly why that's the case. First, let me explain what I did with Karen. So it loops back to the story. Now this is called an open loop. I opened a loop It's an NLP term, meaning that I started an idea and I didn't finish it, and I finished it later. So I said, let me tell you about Karen. Karen had all this, and I went into a whole bunch of other stuff. Then I come back to Karen. Well, first I need to tell you more about what happened with Karen, because this is a conversational VSL. This is what creates so much reader attention. You want people focused on your VSL for a long period of time, sometimes 45 minutes. So you really need to do these kind of linguistic judo tricks to get them to do that, okay? You should have seen her reaction. It tells a story. And of course, if the story is different, I'd click focuser and say, the real story of Karen is this, and boom, it would rewrite it. But this is perfectly fine. It's typical story, typical, it's basically an exaggerated, or exaggerated not in a negative way, but an expanded version of a testimonial. Her scores and grades soared. The bottom line is you'll never truly excel in your academic future until you improve your memory. It's all about confidence. It's all about this. It's tapping on every single thing that a college student will struggle with. Notice how many times it's used confidence. Well, memory and confidence, what are they saying? Well, because college students desperately want to be more confident. And Benson knows that. And it's worked it into a memory offer. How cool is that? Next section, problem overview. Notice I'm not having to fill out anything at this point. I just click a button. The reality is that programs out there, they're too generic. And here's something called generic memory boosters. Okay, generic memory boosters. I don't know what it is, but I know I don't want it because it's generic, right? And I bet until now, no teacher, academic advisor, or the internet has even pointed out to you. How cool is that? They don't address your specific needs. Okay, so it's talking about the problem. The problem is everything out there is too generic. I didn't tell Benson that. Figured that out on its own. And by the way, if that isn't the problem, I'd save it. I'd click focuser. I'd say the real problem is this. In fact, let's do that. I'm going to save this, click focuser. I'm going to say rewrite to focus the real problem. And I'm going to make up a problem. Memory programs out there are too expensive for college students. Make sense? Run it. Now, they're too generic and, more importantly, too expensive. See, it's saying, no, I really like this whole generic angle. I really, really like this, so I'm going to say it and also work in this, which is better copy than I had in mind anyway. So when Benson's writing better copy than I'm writing in my head, then it's doing pretty well. So there we go. That's all I'm going to change here. So it told this little story, okay? Look at this. But we know life doesn't work like that, and neither does your brain or your wallet. Boom. You're watching it in real time. This is what it can do for you. Okay, let's save this. Let's talk about what it can do for you that actually helps without emptying your pockets. Save. I don't want to edit that. That's really good. I've gone through the first 3 sections of an 11-section VSL in minutes, and it still hasn't told a whole story yet. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. It's going to pull the story elements from your backstory, from your before and after story. So if you want that to be really specific to you, you need to spend a little bit of time and tell Benson a little bit about yourself. So I haven't done that yet, so let's see what Benson does. It's going to hallucinate some, and that's perfectly okay. Okay? Barely scraped through my college exams. Okay, I did tell it that. My brother, I don't have a brother, so I would immediately take that out. So I'd say my friend, okay? No amount of late night cramming sessions or last minute studying worked. See, it's telling a story, and it sounds engaging, but the story is actually quite generic. The story would work for anyone struggling with memory. So Benson knows that if it can't find something specific in your blueprint, to create something that is more than likely true. And that's exactly what it's doing. All of that's true. Repetition, flashcards, group studies, okay? Everything. So understand how frustrating and demoralizing it is to feel trapped in a cycle of poor grades and academic disappointment, to watch your confidence, see, again, confidence, what's with the confidence? And prospects for scholarship slip away? Yeah, can you feel the pain here? No college student wants their confidence or their scholarship opportunities to go away, obviously, or high school students especially. Almost feel hopeless. And that's exactly how I felt. So it told the story without being super specific, but it sounds super specific. How cool is that? I'm in love with it. I'm going to save it. Now let's talk about the problem. We already talked about the problem, but we're coming back to it because we just did an overview of it. The problem overview was the fact that it was generic, remember? That was the problem overview. But let's get into the details of the problem. I don't know what they're going to be. Let's find out. Click the magic button. So pay very close attention. NLP command. And what you need to do to actually retain information and ace your exams. Please look at the language Benson is using. It's not saying to perform the right steps in order to optimize your collegiate exams, because no human talks like that, right? Especially a college student. They're not going to talk. It knows your avatar is a college student. It's talking like a college student. It's actually using real world language because we've trained it to do this. Ace your exams. That's awesome. First of all, we need to understand what these distractions and habits are. Like I mentioned earlier, the distractions, okay, this was mentioned in the very first part of the section. Okay, nothing is sticking, you feel overwhelmed, okay? Distractions themselves. So we're going back to the lead here, going back to being, that's one of the problems. You've heard it before, distractions keep you from focusing, okay? Next part is key. It's something most people overlook, but it's just as important, if not more, than just trying to avoid distractions. Because here's the deal, it doesn't really matter if you manage to avoid distractions or not. What is it doing? It's saying you can do all of this, but if you don't do this one thing, you'll fail. If you don't have good study habits in place, you're still going to struggle. And this is where your study habits play a big role. Good habits ensure the time that you do spend studying are actually productive. Okay, I could do a focuser and say, oh, I also want to say right here, check this out, save. Come back down to that. Hit focuser, and I'm going to say refocus on how much more free time you have for dating when you have good study habits. Okay, so I'm just saying I know that, just common sense, right? But let's say that you know something that, okay, it just missed that. Well, I could just refocus it. Okay, boom. Right there. Super easy. Keeping the same persuasion matrix, but just adding your own little hints in here, okay? Good habits ensure that you spend the time you do spend studying is actually productive, freeing up more time for dating and partying. Okay. Without them, your efforts are scattered and inefficient. So with less free time for the fun stuff. Human, babe. Human. Benson is human. Almost. Okay. This is the problem. Goes on and on about the problem. So so the reader really knows that there's a serious problem that they need to face. What's the solution? Well, let's find out. Now, this is asking for a case study. Again, it's way cooler if you have, like, look, a study on memory showed that X, Y, Z. So I'm going to do that really quickly. I'm going to do that very, very quickly. I'm going to look up a study on memory. I'm just going to come over to a website. I'm going to say memory study. Improved neuron health. And I'll find a study. Okay? Now, you might ask, well, why doesn't Benson do this? Because you need to find these studies in real life, and AI, all AI, at the time of this recording, likes to hallucinate. So it might find something that sounds real, but I want to make sure it's real. So it's only going to take me a couple of minutes to do this on my own. So cognitive neuroscience perspective on memory and overview. So a crystallization of memory. Study reveals how practice, okay, this is sounding interesting already, so I'm going to click on this. How practice forms new memory pathways in the brain, okay? So all I'm going to say, I'm going to grab this and grab this, okay? And I'm just going to come right back over to Benson. And it asks for the conclusions, so I'm going to go back over there. Okay, here's the study conclusions right here. I'm just going to copy them. I'll go back into Benson, paste the study conclusions. So now I've got a real study that supports what I'm saying. And let's just make sure Benson words it correctly. Okay, so by now you know boosting memory is key for academic success. But when I ask students, what have you tried? They always say taking notes, etc. All the things that don't work, that don't address the root cause, and they're wrong. Okay. Oh, look at this. Okay, this is interesting. As you probably know, when you rely on last-minute studying, your stress levels spike. This causes a release of the hormone cortisol. Okay. Cortisol's job is to disrupt memory encoding and making it harder to retain information. Look at this diagram. Okay, so basically Benson's saying you should put a diagram here, which you should, okay? As you can see, when stress is high, memory retention is turned off, which makes sense. So there you go. This is this is what we're pulling in from that that copy that I just copied and pasted in here. It took that, extrapolated it, and built that into this copy. Activating new neural pathways is in cognitive state where your brain transitions into better encoding and recall information. It looks like this. Look at how detailed this is. Man, this is crazy. Look at his progress, the bottom line, using the college student memory blueprint. Okay. I believe we have the offer name in here. How many features, components, steps? Okay, let's say it's a five, let's call them modules. And run it. The Brainy Student's Guide to Memory Mastery. Okay, now it's the offer. Improve your memory retention without needing expensive tutors, study aids, boost your academic performance, learn valuable memory tricks. Never been anything close to this course ever attempted before. It's very strong. Yeah. Okay. Tens of thousands of college students testifying to its effect. Now, that obviously, if that's not true, you have to change that. Okay. Reduce stress, anxiety. All you need to do is take this course. Okay. Rely on our easy video modules and practice the exercises. It's 100% natural, interactive, easy. So there's no supplements. Safe and effective. Has zero side effects. I'd probably take that out because it might assume that it's a supplement. That's okay. So there we go. Pretty simple. Ready to go. Offer features. We're probably going to talk about these modules that I just asked me to create. Let's find out. Okay, video training course, interactive memory exercises, tailored. Oh, that's pulling from the features. So, okay. So if I don't like the offer features, what I do is go here and come down, find features, and look at the feature details. Video training course, interactive memory exercises, tailor-made specific to college students. Okay, so right here are the features. So if I want this to be better, so I will say, because it just made this up, I'm going to say a 5 module training series. So obviously you are going to know your product. So since we're making this on the spot, interactive memory exercises, tailor-made specifically to college students. Okay, I think all of this is fine, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these and I'm going to show you a trick. It's a really cool trick. Like if the feature details are okay, like they're not nearly as punchy as the rest of the copy, then what I'm going to do is let Benson rewrite them. Just going to delete these, and it will rewrite them in order. Check this out. Create magically, and it's going to start writing the feature details. Okay. Immerse yourself into our engaging 5-module video training sessions to learn techniques that will make your study sessions shorter and more effective. Sharpen your mind with our interactive memory exercises that feel more like fun challenges than study tools. See how much better that is? Yeah, this is the Create Magically power, man. Boom, boom, boom. All 3 created. Come right back over here, click regenerate, and let's see what happens. Much better. Much better, okay? So much better. So I'm going to save that, and I might run in here, like I might say create longer paragraphs if I want more copy, like if I wanted a little bit more about it. So this is doing that right now. Just depends if I want a little bit more or not. If I don't, I just trash it. There's my offer features. Let's get to the offer price. How many buyers do you currently have? Let's say 120,000. 129,000, how about that? Just made that up, of course. Click the magic button. Now we're going to go into the process. Okay. First, let's talk about something important. Okay. What is that? Okay. I'm opening a loop. It's like, I'm going to reveal the price, but first, let's talk about something important. How many times have you tried different study methods, only to find out they didn't solve your problem, which is remembering all that information? I remember being frustrated. Maybe you felt the same way. So let me ask you, how much would it mean to you to have an approach that actually helps you remember much better? Really, what would it be worth to finally ace your exams? To understand recall material effortlessly, to avoid all-nighters and cramming sessions. See how this is written? Every single line is about a benefit to your reader, your buyer. That's what you want. Can you even put a number on it? Okay? So look at this. This isn't about money for me. It's about knowing what it feels like to struggle with memory, watching grades slip, feeling overwhelmed despite trying your hardest. It's just such a good copy, okay? Now, sometimes we're going to, this is great because I have not seen Vincent even make a mistake until now. And this is a mistake that is actually caused by the newest version of of one of the LLMs that we are using, and it's actually asking for a number. The newest version is not that good at math. This is the bottom line. So sometimes you have to regenerate this to get the math to work. Let's see if this will work. If not, you pull out a calculator. That's as bad as it's going to get inside Benson. Okay, so yes, this is going to be a problem that we're going to have to get the calculator out. Okay, so basically we're telling you to calculate the offer price multiplied times 2. So I'm going to save that. If the offer price is $49, so I'm going to come up here. And by the way, sometimes this is going to happen. No AI is perfect. So multiply by 2. Very simple. So $99. I'll take it to, let's take it to $199, like my team suggests, or even half that. Price won't stand in the way. Even so, I'll have to charge at least $249. So I'm going to go a little higher to cover our costs. You won't be paying that today. Right now, you can access for $49. So I had to do a little math in my head. Hey, good. I'm keeping the mistakes in. I'm keeping the freaking mistakes in, man. I think of this as grunge rock, only in AI. Keep the mistakes in, although that's the first one. So hey, I'll live with that. So we'll get on that with our tech team and figure out how we can get it to actually do simple maths. But there you go. Everything else, spot on. Love it. No problems at all. Let's get to the guarantee. Click the magic button. 30-day money-back guarantee. Very simple. Nothing to do here but save it. I just copy all this into the Google Doc as I was doing earlier. Last thing, let's look at the close, okay? What's the close? The close is your last chance to get the sale, okay? Just remember, NLP, no amount of studying, cramming, or anything you've tried up until now has been the solution. It's true. Which is why it hasn't even had a chance to work the way you want. Yet today you finally found the path forward, the one you've been searching for, the one that leads you to successfully overcoming the true problem holding you back from grades. Okay? Focus, academic success that you deserve. And it's time to take it. It's great close. Okay? Really good. I'm reading through this here. There's a path for you, a path I've shown. Paid by thousands of hours and millions of dollars of research. Again, if that's not true, you can take this out. Thousands of hours, not true. We've already invested on your behalf, so I'd say in expensive research. I'm going to save this because it's already good. And come down here and change that to expensive research. We've already done on your behalf a path that's been celebrated 10,000 students, etc. Okay, there we go. Look at this. Look at this. This is all future pacing. You enjoy your study sessions. You breeze beautifully through your exams. You're achieving better grades. You're beaming with confidence, and it positively impacts every assignment you tackle, the way you carry yourself, and even the opportunities that come your way. This is a memory offer that ends with you're finally free. I hope that you see now the power that you have in your hands with Benson. This is the only AI tool in the world that can do what you're saying. To create this kind of copy for you in minutes that would normally take a professional copywriter weeks or even months sometime to create. Then you can tailor it to exactly your liking, one little chunk at a time. You'll have a VSL, and you will be happy that you did this. To get a VSL for any product or service, that's something I invite every single marketer to do. You need one. This is something that will help you in ways you cannot imagine. So I wish you a lot of luck with this, and I'll see you in the next session when we're going to do website copy, and that will be it for day 2. Thanks.